Hey guys, Adam here, and this is your daily rant for March the 25th of 2013. This rant is going to be a little off topic because it's one of those rants that I feel like I need to get out there because it's about something that I see in daily life that just it makes me laugh. You know, I'm not much on addictions. I'm not a drinker, I'm not a smoker, I'm not into drugs. Another thing that I'm not into that a lot of people are admittedly or should be admitting that they're addicted to is coffee. You know, we have places here in Canada like Tim Hortons. We have Starbucks as well. We have Coffee Time. It saddens me to think that there are people that are so desperate for a beverage. And it's not even beer, a beverage, it's coffee. Coffee tastes like shit to me. So to me, it doesn't make any sense why somebody is that addicted to it. But then again, I don't smoke, I don't drink, so I'm not really the authority on addictions, but you get the idea. But the reason I think it's funny is because, especially when I work day shifts on my actual job, every time I go to work, I drive past a Tim Hortons. It's almost near the highway, and it's a pretty busy Tim Hortons. And every time, not a day goes by where I go past that Tim Hortons in the morning, and the lineup is already out the entranceway. And you sit there and you watch, and you're thinking, how can you sit in a line that long for just a simple fucking cup of coffee? There's a lot of things that I personally don't understand. I can understand it just a tiny bit more when we have the roll up the rim things at Tim Hortons because, it's a contest. People are suckered into it because they think they're going to win something. But on a daily basis, seeing the same thing every time and seeing so many people that desperate for a cup of fucking coffee is kind of sad to me. And I'm not meaning it in any disrespect. But I mean, it's the fact that somebody is willing enough to leave their house almost a half an hour early just so that they can guarantee themselves time to hit the Tim Hortons and get their one coffee in the morning. And it might just be their one of maybe four by the end of the day, which is really disgusting to me too. It boggles my mind that someone is that desperate for a simple beverage. And for me, it's even more confusing because I hear the excuses all the time. He's like, oh, well, I need to get up in the morning, or, it's my Kickstarter. I went through 3 years of college and plenty of night shifts and early morning shifts without a single cup of coffee. It isn't difficult. It's just most people are too lazy to deal with it. Most people are, they don't get themselves enough sleep in the morning, or, they have a long night and maybe they drank or something and the coffee's meant to boost them up in the morning. It's the same with energy drinks to me too, but, I don't think energy drinks are nearly as addictive as coffee, so I can kind of let energy drinks slide just a little bit. But to me, it's like, you know, the fact that companies are making so much money off of people because they're literally addicting them to it. They won't admit it, but, there's no way that many people are that going to be, or excuse me, that desperate for coffee just because, it tastes good. I don't believe that for a second. I know people who drink Tim Hortons coffee like there's nobody's business, and they still say it's pretty disgusting at times. But they drink it because it's coffee. They need the boost. And it's like, how can you possibly tell yourself that this is okay when you know that it's not good for you? Half the time it doesn't taste very good because the people who make it sometimes really don't, try that hard because, they're making minimum wage. I wouldn't be too happy just making coffee all day to begin with either. But you're drinking this stuff and it's really not giving you what you need because really all it's doing is it's giving you the same effect that cigarettes have on people where you've drank it so much that you cannot get by without it now. It's not a boost anymore. It's literally just getting your fix. So, I don't know. To me, I understand why some people need it because I do understand the idea and the concept of addiction, but the fact that there are people that literally live off the stuff and need to go to the lineups at Tim Hortons and sit there for 20 minutes just for one cup of coffee that they'll finish in 2 minutes, that they'll just gulp down like it's a fucking water. The one thing that confuses me the most too is we now have the ability to take Tim Hortons and Starbucks and all their other they now sell their coffee that you can take home with you and make it, and people still would rather sit in a line for 20 minutes. When you could literally get up in the morning and before you have your shower and everything, you could start brewing the cup of coffee so that by the time you're done everything and ready to leave, the coffee's ready. And now you don't have to get up early. You're ready to go. it boggles my mind. You know, it's like coffee craziness to me. It's something that people cannot live without, that are addicted to, and it's really something that in my mind, and when you think about it logically, you have no understanding of why it's so addictive. Why it has to be so addictive. It's like how I still don't get how smoking is still such a huge thing when really we know by now just how terrible it is for us. But then again, people in the States, they buy guns, even though it kills a lot of people, and it's a whole different story. We just seem to be, collectively in this world, we seem to have a fondness for things that aren't good for us. And I mean, I'm the same way. I eat a lot of food that I should not be eating all the time. And that's probably going to bite me in the ass, when I get older. And it's the same reason that most of us do. It's just like I really couldn't care less. Until it happens, until something happens to affect our lives, we don't care. So people keep drinking coffee until they'll end up walking out. By the time they're up in age, they'll be drinking 5 or 6 cups a day, and eventually, they're going to hit a heart attack or something like that. And that's when they'll realize, oh man, I shouldn't have been doing that to myself all this time. That is, if they survive too. Let's not kid ourselves here. It's a simple reality. We collectively as a people like to live our lives just thinking that we're untouchable, and we'll do whatever we feel like, regardless of what it means. If it's bad for us, whatever, we'll take the chance. As long as you are willing to understand that, then there's no problem. But if you're doing it and you know that you shouldn't be, then you have no excuse.